Hi everyone, so thank you very much for joining our online health and wellbeing sessions. We really hope you enjoy all of the clips that you're going to take part in. But just a little something for you to remember before or during or after your exercise sessions. So make sure you're wearing supportive footwear, any loose fitting clothing that's going to allow you to move. Make sure that you've got some water nearby throughout your session, and just do as much or as little as you want to. If you need to take a break at any point, that's no problem at all. Enjoy the sessions that you're going to take part in, and remember you can always double up on anything. So if you wanted to do a little bit of walking, some swimming or some yoga, it complements any of the exercises you're going to do today really nicely. That being said, if you do feel any discomfort, any pain or stiffness, just remember that you can always go straight back to your health advisor or your GP, and you will stop if you feel unwell or in any pain at any point. Thank you, and really hope you enjoy the sessions.
Hi everyone, I'm Claire and we're going to run through a yoga session today that's looking at a bit more of strength, especially strength and stamina in the legs. But as always just connect to your own body and do whatever feels comfortable for you. If there's any pain, just ease out of it, and remember that you're your own teacher. I'm just here as a guide. So just bring that awareness into the body and to the breath whenever we practice together. Awesome. So to begin with, just stand in the front of your space. If you have a mat, great. If you don't have a mat, just a space where you've got lots of room to move forward and backwards and have the arms. And we're going to come to the front of the mat, feet on the ground, hip width apart, arms resting down by the sides in our Tadasana, our mountain pose. And just take a moment here just to ground and connect through the feet. So option to have the eyes closed or to just have a gaze down towards the ground. And just take a moment here as you arrive just to notice the feet on the ground. Notice that support from the ground. And then checking in with the shoulders. Could we maybe soften the shoulders, allow the shoulders to release away from the ears. Check in with the jaw, release the jaw. Invite that awareness into that space in between the eyebrows. Allow that softness around the forehead. And just connect in first of all with your breath. So just check in with how the breath is doing today. Even though we're in this standing strong pose, just connect with the breath. Just notice how your rhythm of your breath is moving in and out of the body. Not trying to fix or change it in any way, just begin to notice. And then blinking the eyes open if they're closed. Take an inhale, and on the inhale, rise the arms over the head. Take that inhale, that breath in. And on the breath out, take the arms wide, all the way back down to the sides of the body. Stay with that breath, so stay with your own rhythm. The inhale, reaching the arms up and over the head. Exhale, allowing the arms just to fall down by the sides. We'll take a few more exactly in this way. Again, just connecting with your own breath and your body. Take one more. That inhale, maybe even look up towards the hands. And that exhale, reaching the arms down by the sides. This time, as we breathe in, we're going to rise onto the toes. So really begin to find that steadiness with the breath as you rise onto the toes. And as you breathe out, then slowly bringing the arms down, slowly bringing the heels back down to the ground. 2 more of those. So we just now begin to increase that awareness in the feet, but still find that connection with your breath. Take one more round. Find that inhale, that reach, that rise, and that exhale to release. Bringing the hands onto the hips, sitting back in our chair pose, keeping the spine long, bending into the knees, checking in that the knees are tracking over the toes and the ankles. So we're not looking for the knees to collapse in, using those inner thighs. Imagine you have a brick or a block in between the thighs. And then pressing through the feet, coming all the way to stand. Inhale, rise onto the toes, arms reach over the head. And as we exhale, we're going to sit back into that chair pose. Option to have the arms reaching out in front or to have the hands on the hips. So taking whichever option feels good in your body today. Every day we step on the mat, we're going to feel different. So that inhale, press through the feet here, lengthen the legs, rise onto the toes. Exhale, sitting back into that chair pose, bend in the knees, find that support and strength through the legs, through the feet. Inhale once more, press through the feet, rise onto the toes. Exhale, sitting back into the chair pose. We're going to stay here for one round of breath. So take that inhale, that breath in. Take the exhale. Press through the feet, come all the way to stand back to Tadasana. So find that comfortable position again, feet hip distance apart. Take a moment to notice, maybe there's some change in the breath here, maybe some change in the body, maybe a little bit more heat in the legs. Just take a moment to notice. Keeping the spine long. Gorgeous. Hands on the hips, take a breath in, and on the breath out, we're going to fold forward at the hips. You can have that gentle bend in the knees, allows that space in the lower back. Keep the spine nice and long. Fold forward over the legs, and then allow the head to drop, allow the hands to release to the ground. Just take a moment there, and then slowly, whenever you're ready, come all the way back up to stand. Press through the feet and peel in the spine all the way to stand. Gorgeous, coming back to stand. Now we're going to step back into a warrior one. So stepping back with the left foot into warrior one, a nice wide step back. Keeping those feet almost like they're on train tracks, allowing that space in the lower back, finding that stability and support. We'll place hands on the hips first of all, then bend into that front knee. As soon as we bend into that front knee, check in with the knee. Is it caving into the middle? Can we use that inner thigh to just allow the knee to track over the ankle and the foot? Into our warrior one. Once we find that steadiness, rise the arms over the head. Take that nice breath in. Lovely. And that breath out. Next time you breathe in, press through the front foot. As you inhale, straighten that front leg. As you exhale, allow the arms to drop into that cactus shape, bend into the knee, keeping the knee tracking over the ankle. Inhale, rise arms overhead. Exhale, bend into the front leg. Inhale, press through that front foot. Really find that connection with that front leg, that stability. Inhale, rise. Exhale, sitting back into that warrior one. Take a breath in here and a breath out. Gorgeous. Now on your next exhale, draw the elbows and the forearms in towards each other. And then on that inhale, find that space and that openness in the chest. Beware not to poke the ribs out to come into a back bend, drawing the ribs into the center of the body. But use that movement from the shoulders. It's really nice to get into the upper back. That inhale, open through the chest. Exhale, find that steadiness. Sometimes we focus on speed and momentum, but actually the steadiness can bring so much more strength and control into the body. Beautiful. Take one more breath in here in this warrior one. The legs may be shaking, that's okay. Staying with that steadiness in the breath and the breath out. Gorgeous. Then come back to stand, back in that Tadasana, feet at the front of the mat, hip distance apart. Take a moment just to notice. Maybe you notice an increase in heat in the legs. Maybe it's noticing that increase of blood flow around the lower body. Then inhale, back that rise onto the toes, arms reaching up over the head. And then as we exhale again, sitting back into our chair pose, hands can be reaching out in front or hands on the hips, taking either option. Taking a breath here, inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Coming all the way back to stand, maybe having a little shake of the legs. And this time we're going to repeat that but on the opposite leg. So I'm going to turn around on my mat, but we're stepping back now with the right leg. So right leg back, left leg in front, just so I haven't got my back towards you. Finding that warrior one position again, so nice wide step, feet almost like they're on train tracks. And then whenever you're ready, find that bend into that front leg, knee tracking over the feet, over the toes. And then we can rise the arms over the head, back into that warrior one. Take a breath in here, checking in, drawing the ribs into the body. And breath out. Next breath in, press into that front foot. Inhale, straighten into the front leg. Exhale, bend into that front leg, arms drop, so find that space in the chest and the shoulders. Inhale, arms rise, leg straightens. Exhale, bend into that front leg. And you can take your legs wider. If you feel you haven't got enough bend, you can shift this back leg back further. Just find whatever works for you in your body. Now stay in here now. We're going to draw those elbows and forearms in towards each other. So find that movement coming from the upper back, the shoulders, that inhale, reaching the arms out wide. Creates that space in the shoulders and the chest. Exhale, drawing the elbows, the hands in towards each other. Inhale, take that openness. Exhale once more. Those legs may be shaking, that's okay, that's normal, they're just working hard, keeping that strength and stability in the legs. Gorgeous. Lovely, stay in here for one breath. Inhale. Exhale. Lovely. Then allowing the arms to just drop. Turning your feet out. So we're now at the long edge if you're on a mat. And then the feet are wider than the hips, toes slightly pointing out towards the side. Take an inhale, reaching the arms up and over the head. And as we exhale, bend both of the knees. Take the arms into that cactus shape, into our goddess pose. Now just checking in with the knees. The knees are over the ankles, tracking over the feet. We're not collapsing the knees. We need to use those inner thighs to find our inner goddess. Gorgeous. Inhale, straighten the legs, pressing through the feet, arms reach. Exhale, bend into the knees. Find the goddess. Inhale once more. Exhale, bending into the knees and just checking in here. We're not folding and collapsing in the chest, keeping that openness in the chest, arms nice and wide. If the arms aren't comfortable here, hands can be on the hips. Stay in here for one more breath. One, inhale. And exhale. And then straightening the legs, come back to the front of the mat. Just take a moment, maybe take a drink, just shaking it off. Gorgeous, everybody. Taking a moment then in that Tadasana and that mountain pose. I love some check-ins. It's always good to check back in with the breath. It's a real guide to how the body is doing. So just take a moment to notice. You can have the eyes closed or just a gaze towards the ground. Notice any changes in the breath or in the body. Not trying to fix or change anything. Just begin to notice. Maybe you can notice the heart beating a little faster. Maybe the breath has changed slightly. Lovely. So we're now going to come into a warrior two pose. It's all about the strength with the warriors today. So step back with that left foot once more. Now this time, sometimes the warrior two is a little bit wider than the warrior one. So make sure we have that nice wide stance, feet wider than the hips. Feet like they're running on train tracks, allows that space in the lower back. We'll start with our hands on our hips first of all. So bend into that front leg. And now with the warrior two, it's got this rotation to the back leg. So we can have the hands on the hips or the arms out in cactus. So find that stability, take a breath in, just to lengthen the spine, keeping the chest open. And then on the breath out, we're going to rotate towards that back leg. So find that rotation into warrior two. And then extending the arms. So right arm, same arm as leg, reaching out forward. And the left arm is reaching out behind. This is our warrior two pose. And if we need to widen the feet, please feel free to do so. You know your own body. Take a breath in here. And exhale. And on your next breath in, take that front arm all the way up to the sky for reverse warrior. So reaching the arm up somewhere in space, above you or behind. And then as you exhale, bringing the hand or the forearm down to that thigh for extended side angle. So a few options here. We might want to leave our hand on our hip, keeping that space in the chest open and the shoulder. We don't want to collapse into this. We really want to keep that space nice and free around the chest. Or we may just have the hand reaching up above into space. Or maybe the forearm will come down onto the thigh. So lots of options there. It could be the hand, we could be here with the hand on the hip, or we could be a little bit deeper. Again, you know your own body. So take an inhale here and exhale. And on your next inhale, go back into that reverse warrior. So that front leg is bent. It's working pretty hard here to keep that stability. And that exhale coming all the way back down into that extended side angle. Your version of each pose will look completely different to mine. Take that inhale in that reverse warrior. And that exhale into extended side angle. Maybe even this time the arm might reach just a little bit further over the head. And notice here the connection from the fingertips all the way down the side of the body into that back leg. Even by the little toe, can we really find that grounding with the foot? Take one breath in and out. And then coming back into that warrior two. Step into the front of the mat, have a breather. And then we do the other side, and it's either like, yay, we do the other side, or oh, we do the other side. Depends on which way you look at it. So I'm going to twist on the other side of my mat because just so I haven't got my back towards you. So this time, stepping back with the right foot, finding our warrior two. Bending into that front knee, using that inner thigh to keep the knee over the ankle. And then once we've found our stability, then on our next breath out, our exhale, rotate coming from the belly towards that back leg. We can extend the arms for warrior two. Take a breath in here. And a breath out. Next breath in, keeping that bend in that front leg. The legs have got that stability and support for us as we reach the left arm up and over the head. And then on your exhale, on your breath out, coming into that extended side angle, maybe hand on the thigh, maybe forearm on the thigh, hand on the hip here, or maybe the hand somewhere up above the head. Staying there for one breath, checking in with that knee. Has it fallen in? Can we use that inner thigh to bring it over the ankle? And then inhale back into our reverse warrior. Exhale, coming into your version of extended side angle. Taking away any images that we may have of how a pose should look. It's just shapes that we're making with the body. So just keep that connection to your own body and your breath. Exhale, coming back to that extended side angle. Taking one more inhale here. And exhale. And then pressing through that foot, finding warrior two. And then coming all the way back to that long edge of the mat if you're on the mat or just to the side. So feet again are wider here. Toes maybe this time slightly turned in towards each other, hands on the hips. Take a breath in, find that connection from the feet all the way up through the legs to create that long spine. Imagine someone's pulling us from the top of the head so we're not slouching here into this wide-legged stand. Take an inhale, find that length in the spine, and on the exhale, folding forward from the hips. Keeping the spine nice and long. Staying there. And then on your breath out, press through the feet, come all the way back up to stand. Nice, take an inhale once more. Exhale, folding forward, this wide leg forward fold. Maybe you want to take the feet a little bit wider, but keep that nice length in the spine here. We're not seeing how far we can go down, bringing our nose to our knees. We just want to focus on that awareness in the spine, nice and long. And then on your next exhale, come all the way back up to stand. Lovely. Step into the front of the mat, maybe having a little bit of a wiggle. Inhale, rising back onto those toes. I know the legs here now are probably shaking, they've worked really hard, creating this strength. And then exhale, sitting back into that chair pose. Remember, there's always an option, always hands out or hands on the hips. You take whatever feels good in your body. Stay in here for one breath. One, inhale. And one, exhale. Pressing through the feet, coming all the way to stand. And then finally, we're going to work on a little bit of a balance. So some of you may already go, oh, I'm not doing this bit, but we'll go with the balance. It's so good for us. So first of all, grounding through that right foot. So find that shifting weight as we peel the left heel off the ground. Hands stay on the hips. And then options with the tree pose, we can bring the heel somewhere just above that ankle into the leg. But just be mindful that in this hip here, we're not sinking into the hip. Can we draw the hip into the body? And then place that foot somewhere on that leg. Maybe the toes are on the ground with the heel just resting on the leg. Maybe the leg is a little bit higher. And using that gaze, that drishti, so we look at a fixed point with the eyes. And then maybe we take the arms out into a different position. Maybe the arms are some kind of funky pose up in the air. Maybe you've got some dancing arms going on. Staying there, take that inhale. And that breath out. And then slowly, can we slowly bring the foot back down to the mat? Rather than plonking it down, can we slowly guide the foot down to the mat? Nice, give the legs a little bit shake. Now for the other side, so shift that weight into the left foot, peeling the right foot off the mat. Just first of all, find that connection, drawing that hip into the center. Almost imagine like we're growing taller on one side of the body. So all the way from that left foot into the leg, into the hip, even into the ribs. Can we grow a little bit taller rather than sinking down? And then whenever we're ready, find your version of tree. Maybe the heel is just above the ankle. Maybe the foot is resting below the knee. Maybe it's going a little bit higher. But just find your version of tree pose. Keeping that hip drawn into the center. And maybe the hands just rest on the hips and we're good here. Or we might want to explore taking the arms out a little bit wider. Nice, and then staying there for one more breath. You've got this. Oh, and then slowly, without plonking the foot back down, just bringing the foot back down to the ground, having a little wiggle. And then we'll just find a comfortable space, just somewhere at the front of your mat or just wherever you are that you're kind of doing this practice. And just bring both feet to the ground with the hips, the feet hip distance apart. Having the hands just resting by the sides of the body. And we'll just take a moment here after doing all those different movements with the body so we can close down the eyes or just have a gaze towards the ground. And just take a moment at the end just to check in again with how you're feeling. So maybe at this point in time, it may be that you're feeling an increase in the heart rate, the heart's beating a little faster, maybe it's your breathing, maybe the mind feels a little bit clearer. Just take that time to notice, bring that awareness into the body, into the breath, and then just allow the shoulders to be soft, allow the shoulders to drop away from the ears. That release of the jaw, so allow the jaw to release. And that softness around the eyes, across the forehead. And just take a few more breaths here, just deepening that inhale and exhale, just bringing some steadiness back to the breath. And then whenever you're ready, if your eyes are closed, you can open the eyes. You can give yourselves a little shake. Well done, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. And yeah, brilliant. Thank you so much.